This is Optimal Work Daily, episode 1265. Success is about focusing on one thing at a time, by Pullein of Pullein.com. And I'm Dan, your personal narrator, and I'm going to keep this intro nice and short for you today and get right to the post as we optimize your life. Success is about focusing on one thing at a time, by Pullein of Pullein.com. When I was in my 30s, I had a multitude of ideas and projects, life goals, and things I wanted to do. By the time I had reached the end of my 30s, I still had a multitude of ideas, projects, and life goals, and I had made little to no progress on any of the goals I had 10 years earlier. Why was that? With age comes wisdom, and the wisdom I gained during my 30s was that it really doesn't matter how many goals, dreams, and aspirations you have, or how determined you are to achieve them. If you do not focus on those goals or dreams one at a time, you are not going to achieve them. To really get down and achieve your goals and dreams, you need to focus on them one at a time. If you don't, you too will end up with a long list of started, incomplete, and failed goals, and you'll blame yourself or some other outside force or person. The good news is, all you need to do is make a tiny adjustment and take one goal at a time. It really is that simple. Tony Robbins has a brilliant quote. People overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. This quote really uncovers the core problem of why so many people fail at achieving their goals. I guess it is the human condition that we want everything now and we don't like waiting. But if you really want to achieve the long list of things you've written down as your goals and dreams, you are going to have to decide which ones you are going to go for first and which ones can wait until another year. If you only focus on 2 goals or projects each year, at the end of the decade, you will have achieved 20 amazing things. Once I started focusing on just 1 or 2 goals a year, my life turned around. I started achieving things. In 2011, I got my first book published here in Korea. It was a book about presenting in the 21st century. After that, I developed a number of workshops to go along with the book, started my own communications company, wrote 2 additional books, and started a second company. I had all these dreams and goals in my 30s, but never achieved any. That was because each year I started out trying to achieve all my goals at once. Now, I have a much more realistic timeline. Each year I write a book, grow my business, and usually begin a new project. Last year was my YouTube channel. This year it is my online course business. My life has simplified, and at the same time, I'm achieving so much more. All it took was a tiny adjustment and a realization there is plenty of time to achieve things, so you can take your time and pick and choose which goals you want to achieve each year, rather than trying to complete everything all at once and finishing nothing. I have never written or recommended writing out a 10-year plan. After all, life is extremely unpredictable. But you can always hold a list of the things you want to accomplish in Evernote or a notebook. Then, each October or November, take some time out, have a look at the list, and pick 2 big projects you want to accomplish next year. Decide which one you will focus on in the first half of the year and which one you will focus on in the second half of the year. Once you've done that, you should list down all the action steps you need to take to make the goal or successfully completed project a reality. Once you have that list of action steps, you then bring them into your to-do list manager of choice and make sure you're doing something every day or at least once a week to make that goal or project complete. I have been following the structure for over 5 years now, and I have accomplished so much. I don't always hit the deadline. Last year's book, Working with Todoist, the book, was published a month late at the end of January instead of December, but I do complete the projects. It does not always mean the projects are successful or I achieve everything I expect of them, but they get completed, which is a huge improvement on having ideas, projects, and goals incomplete or never started. The thing is, my goals, plans, and dreams are now becoming a reality, and all it took was a tiny adjustment. When I was a little kid, I remember my mother telling me my eyes were bigger than my stomach. What she meant was I frequently put far more on my plate than I could realistically eat, and that's what most people do with their projects and goals. They have far too many projects and goals going on at any one time, which means they either fail in their goals or they never get started or completed. So if you want to stop failing at achieving your goals, if you want to get projects completed, then you need to reduce the number of projects you work on each year. Focus on 2 big projects each year and assign one to the first half and one to the second half. When you start doing that, you will accomplish far more in 1 year than you ever did in 10 years. It really is all about focus, and you can only focus on one thing at a time. You just listened to the post titled, "Success is About Focusing on One Thing at a Time" by Carl Pullein of carlpullein.com. We're driven by this search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search, but match. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/startup. So just go to Indeed.com/startup right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Okay, it's sponsor time. But instead of reading a script about Gusto's payroll and benefits, we wanted to tell you what small business owners actually say. You know, the people who use Gusto every day. Here's one now. With Gusto, I think of payroll as a 30-second job. The website is so friendly and a joy to use. Friendly payroll? You don't hear that every day. Amy from Utah says, "I love Gusto so much. They do our medical, dental, vision, and life insurance. It's so painless. It's like going to the spa. And we have great options and rates even though we're a super small team." Health insurance? Like going to the spa? Wow. And here's what Amneet says about Gusto's support team. "Whenever something comes up, I reach out and literally 24 hours later, they tell us what to do or assure us that they've already handled it for us." Smart technology and friendly humans? That's cool. Honestly, the list goes on. And right now, our listeners get 3 months free when they go to gusto.com/OWD. Yep, that's 3 months of payroll, benefits, admin, and more, totally free. Again, that's gusto.com/OWD. And thank you to Carl, whose last name, by the way, is spelled Pullein, and I do have his website linked in this episode's description for you. Carl is a renowned productivity and time management coach who's helped thousands of people around the world get better at managing their time and become more productive using the technology they carry around with them every day. You can check out his podcast, which is called The Working With Podcast. And Carl has also written 3 books on productivity and time management. He's also got a couple of courses you can check out. They're called Time and Life Mastery and Your Digital Life. His purpose is to help people learn how to manage their time so they can enjoy their lives and build a life they are truly proud of. And if you enjoyed this post today and you'd like more of Carl's content, he is featured over on Optimal Living Daily every once in a while as well. So you can check out that show for more and be sure to come by carlpullein.com to show him some support. There you can learn more about him, plus check out that podcast, as well as the coaching, courses, webinars, his books, and so much more. Again, that's carlpullein.com. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thanks so much for being here for episode 1265. I also appreciate you subscribing and following the show and sharing it with others when you get a chance, because all of that goes a really long way to help us keep this show going. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you right back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.